All right, YouTube, this is Detroit's HPTV. Coming to you out of Detroit, back with another video on this Thursday morning. So many different things have happened since the last time I posted. But it's a story I think we need to pay attention to. Did y'all see the sniper that attacked the ICE Detention Center and accidentally or purposely, who knows, hit 2 detainees? This is like the second attack on ICE using weapons. They had another one in Arizona. Then you were seeing last week when I was reporting on what was going on in Chicago, it's almost as if there's some type of battle behind the scenes with protesters, paid protesters, or your regular everyday old dissidents is behind a movement targeting ICE. Now, this is going to be for education and commentary. Check out this story. It's for fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act.
Those individuals who are responsible to bring them to justice and to hold them accountable.
One ICE detainee is dead, 2 others injured after a gunman opens fire at a Dallas ICE facility. Police say the shooter was positioned on a nearby roof and fired at the building and a transport van. The gunman is dead as police now search for a motive.
Started wondering what was on, and then my neighbor across the street from me had texted me and told me what was going on. And it's just, you're kind of shocked and amazed that it could happen that close to you.
Neighbors react as investigators swarm 2 homes connected to the suspected shooter, one in Collin County, one in Oklahoma. What we've just learned about the suspect's past.
The Department of Homeland Security says it will increase security at all ICE facilities. More from investigators and what officials are now saying about the detainees caught in the attack. Investigators are trying to figure out what motivated a gunman to open fire on a Dallas ICE facility. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Casey Stiegel. It's 9 o'clock. Homeland Security officials have shared 2 different photos showing damage from inside the ICE facility located along I-35 north of Mockingbird. Bullet holes can be seen in a window and on a flag display. 1 detainee was killed in the shooting, 2 others critically injured. Police say they were in a transport van.
The sources tell us the suspect is 29-year-old Joshua Yon. Police say he died by suicide as agents approached him on the roof of that nearby building. Today, investigators were spotted at 2 homes tied to Yon, one in Fairview in Collin County, the other in Durant, Oklahoma.
We have Team Fox 4 coverage tonight, and Amelia Jones kicks things off live in Dallas with the very latest on the investigation. Good evening, Amelia.
Hi, Heather and Casey. I want to start by sharing what I'm seeing here on the scene. I'm on North Stemmons Freeway across the street from the ICE Detention Center. The only real police presence we're seeing at this hour is 1 squad car parked out front with its lights on. Earlier today, I got a chance to speak to people who live at the apartment complex next door. They didn't want to go on camera, but they shared with me this morning they woke up to what they believe to be 20 to 30 gunshots. At first, they thought it was coming from inside the complex, but then they saw the heavy police response and were shocked to learn what happened. Around 6:30 Wednesday morning, as an unmarked van entered the back of the ICE Detention Center on North Stemmons Freeway in Dallas. Authorities say a gunman opened fire from a nearby roof. 3 ICE detainees inside the van were hit. 1 died. The other 2 were taken to the hospital in critical condition. Authorities say the gunman...
Now, that's strange to me. They hit 3 detainees. And then since ICE been cracking down, you don't know who is actually being detained. Probably cartel members. This could be anything. Let's do some more of the story.
Identified as 29-year-old Joshua Yon shot himself. The center was open early this morning for appointments, and people were in the waiting area when the shots rang out. Edwin Cardona says he was walking into the building with his wife and son at the time of the shooting. He explained that once they heard gunshots, the agents evacuated everyone from where they were waiting to a more protected area.
What we do know so far is that this shooter was firing indiscriminately throughout the whole building. And so this shooter was at a building nearby and shooting directly into the building, going across the entire length of the building, and then including into the sally port.
Our news cameras captured bullet holes in the windows of the back of the building near the sally port, the area where detainees are transferred. And the Department of Homeland Security shared this photo of bullet holes piercing the glass of a framed American flag inside the facility. Morning rush hour traffic along adjacent I-35 was diverted as local and federal authorities swarmed the area.
I can confirm at this time that the FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence.
Part of the investigation focused on the roof of an immigration law firm across from the back of the facility. This is where they believe Jan positioned himself. Fox 4 was there this afternoon when a car parked at the building was searched by authorities. The full scope of the motive behind the shooting is still unclear, but during a press conference Wednesday morning, authorities say shell casings at the scene gave some insight.
What I can also share with you is that early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
Have y'all noticed the overall theme? The last shooter was using engravings on bullets. Y'all think this all is a coincidence?
No officers or ICE agents were hurt during the shooting. Authorities have not given another on-camera update since the press conference this morning. The other updates we've received have come through other channels of communication like email and social media. And we know those updates will continue to come as this investigation is just getting started. Heather, Casey.
All right, Amelia, thank you.
Again, we want to show you another look at the suspect. This is from a 2015 arrest in Collin County.
Again, that 29-year-old suspect is dead. Police say died by suicide as agents closed in. And today, investigators searched at least 2 properties tied to that suspect. Our team Fox 4 coverage continues now with David Sintendry, who is live in Fairview in Collin County. David.
Yeah, Heather and Casey, well, federal investigators left that Fairview neighborhood about an hour ago. As you just mentioned, they have been at multiple homes connected to this sniper, but it's unclear what evidence they have collected from inside of these homes. Sky 4 video shows FBI investigators in and out of a home at the bottom of this cul-de-sac in the Collin County city of Fairview. The home connected to Joshua Jan, the reported sniper who shot 3 people at an ICE facility in Dallas before shooting and killing himself.
That's insane to hear.
Sloan Mordecai, a neighbor, had no idea about the attack until she drove upon reporters down the street and federal agents next door.
Like I said, very sweet family, so that was really, really surprising to hear.
We don't know much about Jan. He does not appear to have a violent criminal history. But in 2015, he was arrested for marijuana possession in Collin County. And while records show Jan is connected to this home in Fairview, records indicate he most recently lived in Durant, Oklahoma. Video shows the FBI and SWAT focusing in on that listed address, but no word as to what was recovered. It's unclear if a manifesto, additional weapons, or anything else was found.
It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence.
It's getting so common, they automatically expecting a manifesto. You know, they automatically just said they're looking for his manifesto. What would make them think he wrote one?
To include here in North Texas, where back on July 4th, we saw a coordinated attack carried out against an immigration detention center in Alvarado.
Federal investigators have not said what may have led Jan to develop reported anti-ICE views, or if there's any other evidence beyond what was written on shell casings found at the Dallas facility.
This is the 3rd shooting in Texas directed at ICE or CBP. This must stop.
In Fairview, Wednesday evening, federal investigators were seen removing a box of possible evidence from the home.
You think just how crazy that is and how close it is to home now.
It took a while for Tim Johnson to learn that he lives down the street from the Fairview home connected to Jan. He says he only knew of Jan, no personal details.
But it's an unfortunate event.
And I have been in contact with an FBI spokesperson, but at this point in time, it is unclear when they plan to host that follow-up news conference. Casey and Heather, back to y'all.
All right, so David, quick question for you. I do understand that we've been able to learn a little bit about that suspect's past. What can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that a spokesperson for Collin College says that he attended school there sporadically between the years 2013 and 2018. Again, there were some gaps in his time spent at that college. And in 2017, he apparently drove across country to Washington State to work a minimum wage job harvesting legal marijuana on a farm. Again, that was in Washington State. And the business owner who employed him says that he was actually living out of his car at the time and did not seem to have a whole lot of direction.
A whole lot more we've got to dig up on this guy. Fox 4's David Sintindra reporting live for us tonight. David, thanks so much.
Well, the Mexican Consulate General in Dallas says that one of the critically injured detainees is a Mexican national and is being treated at the hospital.
It is unclear where the other injured detainees are originally.
They automatically know in their information it's a Mexican national. It's a lot with this story that's going under the radar. How do they know automatically he's a Mexican national? And this so-called shooter was attacking the Sally Port where they transfer prisoners. This almost come out of a movie.
From, and that includes the one who did not survive. Fox 4's Vanya Castillo continues our team coverage this evening, and she joined us live with that part of the story. Hi, Vanya.
Yeah, well, it's been over 14 hours since that shooting that resulted in 2 people dead, including the shooter, as well as 2 others injured. And while we know the identity of the suspected shooter, we know almost nothing about the identity of those who were the victims. Now, we have been able, though, to confirm that at least one of those victims who did survive is a Mexican national. Now, the Mexican consulate telling us today that the Mexican national has been seriously injured and is currently hospitalized and receiving medical care. Now, the identity of the victims have not yet been released, but the Mexican consulate does tell me that they have been in contact with the victim's family and have been offering their services to them and legal assistance. The consulate also says they've spent the day receiving calls from people with loved ones at the detention facility, trying to get answers and see if it
Whoever that Mexican national was must be very important because they helping the family and they're treating him special. Pay attention.
their loved ones who have been shot. Take a listen.
I mean, they were obviously trying to get some information, some ease of mind. I think with the information that we gathered, we were able to convey that to their family members. So that's, I think it was good. The government of Mexico is always going to condemn violence. We don't think that violence is the answer to anything. So that's a horrible act that happened this morning.
The Mexican consulate says their North American unit chief has expressed concern through diplomatic channels and are requesting a full investigation into the shooting and full unrestricted access to the injured Mexican citizen. Now, the Mexican consulate tells us that they're just waiting for the okay to go and visit that Mexican citizen in the hospital. Back to you.
All right, Vanya Castillo, thank you.
Of course, stay with Fox 4 for this developing story. You can always find the latest on our...
So what do you guys think? They awfully concerned about the Mexican national. And it's ironic that this shooter only hit detainees transferring through a Sally Port. Tell me what you think about this story in the comments. You know, I just wanted to talk about it because it seemed odd with all the crackdowns on ICE clashing with protesters that this story is not getting as much attention as it should. Well, this Detroit's HPTV sending to you out of Detroit. As always, keep your head on a swivel. Salute to all patriots. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.